Hello, thank you for joining Steve on Pathways, my video blog to help guide you through the Pathways learning experience based on my experience. Today is episode 6. We're going to be talking about level completion. On the agenda today, we're going to be looking at project assignments and making sure that they're finished, then looking at evaluations and what you do with the evaluations, and finally submitting the request to your Basecamp manager and then following up with some sort of contact. To really help you understand what is entailed in completing a level, I'm actually going to take you to a tutorial that's available in Pathways that really goes into great detail and I think will help you tremendously, and also will show you that there is this resource available for completing projects, levels, and so forth that is always available to you should you forget what we talk about today and come back to this in the future and not remember how to complete the level. You can always go back to the tutorial and look at it anytime. So this is the tutorials page. I got to this again by hovering over the tutorials and resources and then waiting for the drop down to open and then clicking on it. If I scroll down here, you can see there's just a lot of different things available as far as tutorials in various regard to how to work in Pathways. If I go down here to the C's, which is complete a project, complete a level, complete your assignments. So if I click on complete a level, I will be able to go to this online class that I think you will find very helpful. Unfortunately, the audio does not come through when I play this, so I'm going to narrate it myself, but that will be just fine because I've seen it a number of times for my own resource to know how to complete a level, because you'll do this 5 times throughout your Pathways journey, because each time you complete there's 5 levels, and so each time you complete a level, you will need to go through this process. So it's a good resource to remember and keep handy. Let's get started and see what they have to say. So when you've completed all the projects in your level, you're going to go back into your module here and click on the My Education transcript to get started. And then once you go to that, you're going to see that hopefully you're going to have to open your curriculum, and then you'll see that all your projects have been completed because they've got a check mark by them. If they don't have a check mark by them, then you've got to go back and do some work either to finish that project or do your second assessment so the project is completed. So if you don't see check marks in all the different projects for a particular level, like I said, you have to go back and do a little bit of work. So, right, you can see that by the burgundy check mark there. The next thing you're going to do is select the Activate button at the bottom there. So in this particular example, they're using motivational strategies. And once you activate that, you're going to see it change to registered, and then launch it. And then you'll see a PDF that explains all the information that you'll need to know about how to complete the level. But what you want to do is go back and mark it complete, and then you'll see that the status has changed to pending completion. This will also trigger an email going to your Vice President of Education, letting them know that there's a request out there that they need to go in and approve or deny. Mostly they get approved unless they aren't sure what they're doing, that you've done the work. But then you'll see once you've done that, that there's a check mark there that shows that it's been completed. Hopefully you found that a little bit helpful on how to complete a level. There's really not much to it as long as you've done the work on each of the projects. And then it's also a good idea to follow up with your Basecamp manager so that he or she knows that they have a pending request. So however you communicate with your Basecamp manager, if it's by email or it's by text or a phone call or just seeing them at a future meeting and saying, hey, I submitted my request for level 1 completion or for a level completion. Did you get it? Do you have any problems with doing that? And then they, in turn, if they approve your level completion, should go on into Toastmasters International and submit an award for you, just like they used to do in the traditional program, then that makes it official. So the next thing I wanted to talk about just really quickly are your evaluations. We haven't really spoken about what do you do with your evaluations when you get a completed evaluation. You might want to have them digitally, you might want to save a hard copy, but I do recommend that you at least save them until you've completed your level that evaluation pertains to. So if it's level 1, you want to keep all those evaluations from your icebreaker, evaluation feedback, research and presentation, so that if anybody should question you later as to whether you actually completed the work, because there are changes in club officers, that you can show them the documentation that you did complete and have those evaluations for each of those projects. For me, I keep all my evaluations, or keep all my documentation for projects in my own filing system that I had already established. But if you don't have one established and would like to save those documents in Pathways, you can do that. If you go back to your curriculum here, you'll see at the top there's this thing called ePortfolio. If you open that and just follow the prompts, you'll see that there's a place to put documents. If you click on that, it will open up and show that there are 5 different levels, folders for 5 different levels, because there are 5 levels in every project. And if I have documents that I want to put under level 1 or just general documents, I can click on either of those, but let's just look at level 1, and it's very simple to add a file, and then it asks you to select the file and bring it into that place to save it, that folder to save it, and then it's there basically forever. So that's one place to save your evaluations if you don't have another place to save them. And like I said, you don't have to save them, but I do suggest that you save them simply because it will give you a better reference point should you be questioned as to whether or not you had actually completed the work required in completing a level. So in this episode, what we spoke about was making sure that your assignments are completed, projects are completed before you submit a level. We talked about how to submit a level request to your Basecamp manager, or what to do with your evaluations, whether you want to save them a hard copy, whether you want to save them digitally on your own filing system, or want to save them in your ePortfolio. And then once you had submitted the request to the Basecamp manager, making sure that you follow up them through an email, text, phone call, in person, whatever is your best way to communicate with your Basecamp manager, just to make sure that they are following up. Pathways in any Toastmasters educational program is self-directed, so it's really up to you to follow through and make sure you're getting the credit that you deserve for each of those, each project that you complete, each level that you complete. Next time, we're going to talk about project overview and printing projects. Join me next time